Hi everyone and welcome to Miss V English. Today it's all about going to the hairdresser. This can be a really stressful thing to do, especially in another language when you're trying to describe what treatment you want. So keep watching if that's something that you'd like to learn more about. First, let's look at the key vocabulary. I hope you can all see this. If not, I will say it out loud anyway. So these are some keywords that you should really learn when you're going to the hairdresser. Number one, haircut. You can repeat after me if you want. Haircut, blow dry, layers, hair dye or color, straighten or curl, hairdresser, or you can say stylist, shampoo, conditioner, trim, treatment, fringe or bangs, and appointment. We have looked at the word appointment before, but I do want to focus on these other useful phrases. So just very quickly, a haircut is when you are getting your hair chopped off. You want your hair to be shorter. That's a haircut. Blow dry is when they use the blow dryer to dry your hair. But when you're getting a blow dry, especially for us women, normally they do like a nice blow wave as well. So it's a style as well. Layers. Layers is when your hair is not just all one length, but there are different lengths. Okay, so normally it's like shorter lengths at the top and you get longer and longer. So layers. Hair dye, so putting a color in your hair. Straighten, so when your hair is straight. Or curl, when you want curls in your hair. We know what the hairdresser is. The hairdresser is the name of the place, so you can say, I'm going to the hairdresser, but the hairdresser is also the person who is doing your hair. So my hairdresser's name is Tom, okay? Shampoo, conditioner, that's the products that you put in your hair to wash it and to moisturize your hair. A trim. Now this is a really important word to use. A trim is not the same as a haircut, okay? They're very similar. I would say a trim is when you're just getting a little tiny bit cut off, okay? So if you have long hair and you just want a trim, it means you're just getting maybe those dry end bits cut off, okay? So you're just getting a little bit. A trim means a little bit. Haircut normally means a lot. You're getting a big haircut, okay? Treatment, we will talk about that later. A treatment is like a special treatment that they are putting in your hair. So special products or masks that the hairdresser will put in your hair because you have a specific problem. Maybe your hair is so dry or too oily, so you have a special treatment for your hair. Fringe, that's the short bits that are on your forehead. So you can have a front fringe or some little bits on the side. So fringe or bangs. And lastly, appointment, all right? So that's the actual booking, okay? Which we've looked at that before. Guys, these are the most useful phrases that you can use when you're going to the hairdressers, okay? So these are phrases for clients. Remember we talked about what a client is, okay? It kind of just means the customer. All right, so useful phrases. I'd like a haircut, please. Always saying please and thank you. I'd like a haircut, please. Just a trim, please. Can you cut off 5 centimeters? I'd like layers, please. Can you dye my hair dark brown? So this covers a lot of different things. Hair dyeing, just a trim, please. Remember that means just a little cut, all right? And we're talking about layers as well. It always helps if you have a photo to show as well. More useful phrases, here we go. I'd like to keep the length. That means that you don't want anything cut off. You want to keep the length, okay? I've said that a lot of times because my hair takes so long to grow that when I go to the hairdressers, I don't want anything cut off. So you can simply say, I'd like to keep the length. Or you can say, not too short, please. So maybe you've asked for a haircut, but you just want to make sure that they're not going to cut too much off. So you can just say very nicely, not too short, please. Can you blow dry it straight? Can you blow dry it straight? So that means when they're using the blow dryer, okay, they're going to at the same time be straightening out your hair, okay? Now, this is very interesting. Can you blow dry it straight? What am I talking about when I say it? I'm talking about my hair. So in English, hair is just one thing, okay? It is one noun. I know in Italian that they use hair as plural, so it's hairs. And when they're talking about their hairs, they use plural. So they'll say, my hairs, they are oily, for example. Whereas in English, we don't say that. Hair is one thing, okay? I'm getting my hair done, okay? My hair, can you blow dry it straight? Not can you blow dry them straight, okay? So hair is just one, okay? My hair is so dry, not my hairs are dry, okay? So please take note of that. If you have a notebook in front of you and you're taking notes, highlight that. It's super important. In English, hair is just one. It is singular, okay? Remember that. So, can you blow dry it straight? How much will it cost? Okay, we've talked about that sentence when we were going shopping for clothes and you want to ask how much something costs. So we should be a little bit familiar with that one, but it's something that you'll ask at the hairdresser many times. How much will it cost? Again, I'd like to keep the length. Not too short, please. Can you blow dry it straight? How much will it cost? Okay, let's move on. More useful phrases for you. Can I add a treatment, please? I just need my roots done. Roots are these bits here, very close to your scalp, okay? So these are your roots. I just need my roots done, okay? Normally that means a color. You want them colored. So maybe you've got some gray hairs, or if you are blonde and underneath you are brunette or you have brown hair, if it's brown at the roots and blonde here, a lot of people would want to get their roots done. So when I say, I just need my roots done, I'm referring to coloring this part of my hair. Just a wash and blow dry, thanks. Could you write that one down? It's probably the most popular, especially for women, I think, the most popular treatment that we would ask for is just a wash and a blow dry. Okay, that's what I tend to get all the time. So that means that they will just use shampoo and conditioner to wash your hair, and then afterwards they will blow dry your hair so it's nice and dry. So we say just a wash and blow dry, thanks. Okay, now here are some phrases that you might hear from the hairdresser. So take note of these as well. So, what would you like done today? A very common phrase that hairdressers will use. What would you like done today? How much would you like off? Write that one down. They're asking how much hair would you like them to cut off? How much would you like cut off? That's a very useful phrase to learn. Do you want me to shampoo your hair? And there should be a question mark here. Would you like a treatment added on today? So hairdressers always ask that in my experience, and I have been absolutely drained of my money at some hairdressers because I can't say no. I find it really hard, especially when the hairdresser is saying, your hair is so dry, you know, oh my goodness, I mean, when's the last time you had your hair trimmed? And oh my goodness, we need to do something about this, your hair's atrocious. And so I feel like I have to accept the treatment. because then the hairdresser will always ask, would you like us to add a treatment, or would you like to add on a treatment? And I always say, yeah, okay, without asking how much it costs. And then something that would have cost maybe $50 has now turned into $200. So be careful with that one. I put this here for a reason, guys. Be careful. If the hairdresser asks if you would like a treatment, ask how much it costs, okay? So you could just say, yes, I'm interested. How much does that cost? Don't make the same mistake that I made. Okay, more useful questions and phrases from the hairdresser. Would you like it would you like it blow dried or left natural? So the hairdresser is asking if you want them to blow dry your hair, or if you are happy for them to leave it wet and you can let it dry naturally, okay? So again, would you like it blow dried or left natural? Now, when they've trimmed your hair, they might say, is this length okay? Maybe you wanted it cut even shorter. So you can say, actually, could you cut some more off, please? So this is the hairdresser asking you, is the length okay? Do you like the result? So at the end, when your hair is styled and done, the hairdresser might say, do you like the result? Or what do you think? And then that's your chance to say, I hate it, please can you fix it? Because that's another thing that happens to me all the time. I am always so disappointed with my hair when I go to the hairdressers. I have a very specific type of hair, which you may not know because it's always changing when I do these videos. But whenever I go to the hairdresser, I have a big problem. I can't tell them that I hate it. So I have been blonde before, I've had some slicked back hairstyles, and then they say to me at the end, do you like the result? And I just go, yes, thank you so much. Wow, thank you, I love it. And on the inside, I am screaming. And then I'll drive home crying. So please, again, learn from my mistakes. When the hairdresser says, do you like the result or what do you think? Be honest. But also, before the result, so before they finished, you have lots of opportunities to say what you want and be specific now that you know the language to use, okay? So, that's my story. Okay, let's move on. We are going to have a very quick speaking practice so you can see an example of what a conversation between client and hairdresser might look like, okay? So I will play both parts for this one. So the client, so that's like the customer, says, hi, I have an appointment for 2 p.m. The hairdresser says, hello, what would you like done today? Just a trim, please, and some layers. How much would you like off? Remember what that means? When the hairdresser asks, how much would you like off? They're talking about how much length do you want off. Well done. About 3 centimeters. Got it. Would you like me to blow dry it straight? Do you remember what that means? Yes, please. And would you like to add a treatment today? Now remember, you can ask, how much does the treatment cost? Or you can just say, yes, that sounds great. That's what I say, and then I end up paying $200-300 for a treatment that I probably didn't need. So please replace this with, firstly, how much does the treatment cost? Then maybe if you're happy with the price, you can say, that sounds great. All right, let's have a go at filling in the blanks, okay? So these are some examples of phrases that you would say when you are at the hairdresser. And I want you to have a go at filling in the blanks with the word that is most likely to be used in this context. So, for example, if you want a short haircut, okay, what can you say? I'd like a, please. Now, what I'm talking about is when you want a little haircut, so just a little bit, not a big haircut, but you just want a little bit of hair off. What would you say? I'd like a, if you said trim, you're correct. I'd like a trim. Okay, hopefully you can all see that. Guys, I forgot to say, if you prefer, pause this video, have a go at filling out the blanks yourself, and then come back and you can see if you got the answer correct or not. So, the first one is, I'd like a trim, please. Remember, a trim is a little haircut. Number 2, can you my hair? Now, can you my hair straight after the cut? So, can you what my hair straight? Okay, so they're doing something to the hair and it's going to cause it to be a little bit straight after the cut. Now, this is for styling, okay? So what would be the best phrase to use here? Can you my hair straight? We did talk about this. The answer is blow dry. Can you blow dry my hair straight? That is normally the sentence that you will hear in this context, everyone. Can you blow dry my hair straight? It's different if you were to say, can you straighten my hair? But in this sentence, can you my hair straight? You would say, can you blow dry my hair straight? It's a type of style. So the answer for that one was blow dry. I hope everyone can see that. All right, give yourself a tick if you got those 2 answers correct. All right. Let's move on. Number 3, I have an appointment at, now what can we say there for telling the time? Now, the answer to this can be many different things, but you need to make sure it makes sense. For example, I have an appointment at afternoon. Would that make sense? No. Okay, so what could you say in this sentence to fill in the blank? I'll be happy if you put in any time. So you can say, I have an appointment at 3 p.m. So that means 3 in the afternoon. I have an appointment at 3 p.m. Okay? If you put 4 p.m., 12 o'clock, 1:30, anytime, I'm happy with it. Okay, number 4, I want to keep the, all right, if you get this one, give yourself 2 ticks because it is tricky and I think most of you would have just learnt it today in this lesson. So, what would you say, everybody, if you're not wanting too much cut off, okay? So you don't want too much cut off. The sentence though is, I want to keep the, would the answer be trim? Can you say, I want to keep the trim? No, that doesn't make sense. Even though trim means not too much cut off, in this sentence, that word would not make sense. It needs to make sense. So, I want to keep the length. So, give yourself a tick if you wrote down length. I want to keep the length. So this is the length of my hair. I want to keep the length. It means you don't want anything cut off, okay? Give yourself a tick if you got that one. That's a tricky one. All right, let's see if there are any more. Yes. Okay, would you like to add a? What do the hairdressers always ask? Would you like to add a treatment today? And the clue was for something special in your hair, okay? Something special in your hair is a treatment. So the answer is treatment. Treatment. Would you like a treatment in your hair? Okay. Give yourself a tick if you got that correct, and let me know in the comments how many you got correct out of 5. If you got 5 out of 5, well done. Okay guys, let's do a final challenge if you choose to accept it. Okay, so we're going to make this real. We're going to put this into practice now. Okay, so now that you know some of the main phrases that you can use and the main questions that the hairdresser may ask you, let's put it into practice. Okay, so can you create your own dialogue between you, the client, and the hairdresser? You can pretend you're booking the appointment, describing what you want. So you must describe what you want. I would like a haircut, please. I would like layers, please. Okay, so you need to describe what exactly you want. I want you to use at least 5 phrases from today's lesson. So at least 5 sentences or questions, phrases that you learned from today's lesson. Use it in your dialogue. Now guys, this dialogue can literally be role play. So you and a friend, one person's the hairdresser, one person's the client, and then swap those parts. Or if you just want to write it down, that's fine as well. So you can write it the way that I did with client, hairdresser, client, hairdresser. But I want you to create a dialogue and make sure that you've used at least 5 sentences from today's lesson, 5 phrases. So have a go at doing that. Well everyone, that's all we have time for today. Hopefully you'll be a little bit more confident now when you go to the hairdressers and you have to explain what you want in English. It's really helpful everyone if you watch the lesson again and again and take notes, okay? It's important that you study, memorize the phrases and then put them into action. And always remember guys that practice makes progress.